Are you ready, Ryan?
Snarf.
Because I have the sword of awesomeness, and I'm calling
Snarf.
for the Geek Dad Report. The Geek Dad Report. The Geek Dad Report. Oh! With my power, I call on the fucking halls of justice and the power of Grayskull, and on the old gods and the new, and in darkest night and brightest light, I shine my Geek Dad Report finger of light. I don't know, whatever.
I think you're having what they would call a snarf attack.
Snarf attack, snarf.
You just snarfed yourself.
I don't know. I felt really nostalgic. I put on this cool shirt and I was like, whatever. I need to watch more cartoons. I don't remember how all the intros go.
I give you a solid B for
right, I like that. Well, everyone, that's my like crazy way of saying welcome to the Geek Dad Report, episode 169. 69, dude. Woo!
That's a pivotal episode.
It's always a pivotal episode. Yeah. It's ribbed for his and her pleasure. I'm Brian West, the host of Hostess.
Somebody in my neighborhood is smoking some very high quality marijuana because my downstairs smells really bad.
Sure, yeah, somebody.
No, not me.
Mm-hmm. It's a likely story, Ryan. All right, we'll start this again. Welcome to episode 169 of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and to bring you guys all the nerd news you need to know, all while putting a big old Thundercat lion-o smile on your face. As I said earlier, when Ryan was talking about smoking the devil's lettuce, I'm Brian West, the hostess, who's not high right now, but I do have the mostest.
And I am Ryan Thomas, and I do not smoke.
Who's hotboxing the shit out of his basement. Woo! Party on.
My eyes are not red, see?
I'm not judging. Hey, man, Visine's great, so I hear.
Well, yeah, it's not legal here. And plus, my job,
lame.
I can't do it because of my work requirements.
Oh, my God. You live in one of those states that if you smoke a bowl, you get 37 years. But if you commit felonies and sell out the country to Russia, you only get 4.5 years.
You only get 4 months or whatever.
I'm sure with good time for he'll get time served and good behavior, and he'll get that rich person discount.
Yeah. All right. I need to get I have a lot of the white privilege, but I need the rich people white privilege.
Oh, God. All right. Well, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about Paul Manafort's stupid ass, but this is not the Geek Dad political report. This is the Geek Dad regular report.
You can turn on your radio station to any station, and they will literally be talking about.
I'm just really irritated about that. But anyway, we're not going to talk about the fundamental flaws of the justice system and white privilege. But we are going to talk about a lot of nerd news. We got a ton of it this week. I don't know what it was, but it was a really busy week. There was a lot of good news, a lot of kind of sad news, and a lot of just informational news.
Tuesday was a very heavy day. That's for sure. Yeah,
we have a lot of Star Wars and Disney news, which is not really a shock. It seems like we have a lot of that every week anyway, so whatever. But I don't know what else we have. We got some questions.
Lord of the Rings update.
Ooh, we do have a Lord of the Rings update. Yeah, I got to talk to you about that because you're our resident Lord of the Rings nerdy guy. So we got to talk about that, and then what else we have to talk about? Oh, we got some questions in our From the Faithful 50 because you guys are awesome, and we have some recommendations, and we got lots of stuff. So this is gonna be an action-packed show. We'll probably go a little bit long because we had some fun topics we kind of wanted to break out for you guys, but I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. But hey, if you're not used to going long with me and Ryan, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, if it's not 6 hours, then we have not been, going long enough.
6 hours? Jesus. What do you think I am, 18? Anyway.
Well, that's what you always say, how long you end up going with your wife, so.
I've never talked about it. What are you talking about? I'm just throwing shit out there. I'm old, man. I don't go long. I mean, I go hard, but I just don't go long. What are you talking? My wife would leave me. It's like that Dave Chappelle show where she's like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, B. That's what we need to do for this intro is wrap it up. Jesus. Yeah. So what's up, man? What's new? What you been up to?
Since last week, man, it's just been it feels like, because we're doing the show 1 week late, I feel like we're doing like a month since like the last episode.
It has. We're obviously, if you guys haven't noticed, we're a day later on this. It's my fault. My wife is out of town right now, and she had a work thing me and the kids had to go to with her last night. So because she was leaving town, I was like, all right, I'll come to your work function, and I'll do it tonight. So
yeah. But, I mean, other than that, it's just work, take the kids where they gotta be. You know, my son does travel soccer, so when my daughter's got softball coming up, so we're just doing sports stuff all the time. So, yeah, it's super fun. Being a parent's awesome. And apparently it pays off at some point.
Yeah, I think it pays off for a few people.
Yeah. I mean, if they get, like, you know,
I am 100% aware of the fact that my kids are going to try and put me in a home and sell all my assets at some point.
At least your youngest. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't put it past her. Maybe by the time she's 18.
Yeah, that's true. She's going to be like, listen, my dad's getting dementia. Your dad's like 51. Oh, it's real bad. Real bad. Needs to be put in a home. Preferably the cheapest home you can find.
He still seems like he's pretty coherent and, he understands what's going on. Like, no, he doesn't. He has no idea.
And we have a problem with the new will that you gave us. It's clearly in your handwriting. What? Oh, what are you talking about? Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't trust him.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, what's your week been like?
Yeah, it's been busy. Like I said, I had a work function. My wife is winning all kinds of awards because she's great at her job. So it was fun yesterday. I had to put on the fancy outfit and had to be some arm candy. My wife wanted to show me off to all her friends.
Fancy outfit, just you just wear a suit jacket, but you still wear one of your nerd shirts?
No, I actually just wore a polo, but I wore my cool Levi jacket. I was rocking it though. I was getting
a denim jacket or
Yeah, there was a lot of oh, this is your husband? Mm-hmm. I was like, that's right, she gets all this. Not only does she win an award here, she wins an award every day when she wakes up next to me. Ha ha! Pow! Bang! Whatcha!
So did you stand up and take a bow when they said her name?
When they said now presenting the award, I was like, oh, I thought you meant I was the award you were going to present. No, it was like a plaque. It was really weird. Now we did. I did that, and then we had. I don't know. Like I said, I've been on daddy duty tonight. Oh my God. It's so much harder when you just have one parent having to do everything. It's amazing. You forget how much you tag team with your spouse until you have to do it by yourself. And your kids, the worst thing is your kids, they sense weakness, right? And they just pounce. They're like...
Yeah. No, it's my kid, the second they get home from school, they need a snack because apparently they're going to die.
And then they don't want to eat their dinner. Yeah, I know.
And I'll take the dog for an hour walk. And then, I come back, and usually the kids are either, fighting or, and then I got to watch the dog and keep the kids separated. My wife makes dinner, and then I do – so that's her quiet time is making a dinner, and then my quiet time is cleaning up.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah, I've had no quiet time today. It's been fun. The kids – I know, right now I'm a little nervous, so we'll see if anybody appears on the show tonight because – right now, the kids are working on the honor system, and they're supposed to put themselves to bed because Ryan's on East Coast time. We have to record this pretty early over here in Washington on Pacific time. So my kids are not yet in bed, so I'm a little nervous. Keep looking where the stairs are to see if one of them's falling down the stairs. But, so we'll see.
You see the head starting to come over the railing?
Yeah. God. Who knows? Usually it'll be just somebody will wander down here and be like, oh, you're recording? Let me put my face in there and say, hey, what's going on? Can I see anybody? Oh. Now, other than that, let's see. What else have I been up to?
Watch this.
I've been binge watching the shit out of Game of Thrones. I'm getting ready. We got about a little over a month. We got 5 weeks to the finale, the season 8 finale, which we're going to talk a little bit about later in our news because they had a trailer drop, but...
You started from the very beginning.
I did.
What season are you right now?
We are at the Red Wedding episode. So season 3, episode 9.
she has not watched it yet.
No. So anybody who's followed us knows that my wife has been adamantly against watching Game of Thrones. Well, much like, spoiler alert, the Night King and his dragon, I have blown down the wall. Pow! I got my ice dragon. I just assaulted her defenses, which sounds like something she should report to the police.
Yeah.
Metaphorically assaulted her defenses. And that wall came tumbling down, and she finally gave in. And, which, I mean, you know what? This is like a great time. She played this perfectly. I like to give some credit to my wife. She has not had to agonize and listen to people who've read the books tell you all the things you didn't know, and have to deal with like cliffhangers and 2-year wait between the season 7 and season 8. Oh no, she gets to watch all 67 glorious episodes, and then boom, finished.
So
I have to watch the last.
I have one requirement for the Red Wedding. I have one requirement of you for the Red Wedding episode.
Did I record it?
You must re-record her reaction.
The problem is she'll know something's up if I record it. She knows that everybody dies at a wedding. But the good news is there's already been 3 weddings and nobody's died in yet, or two or 3 weddings that no one's died yet. So I don't know. We'll see.
So she knows there's one where it's going to be a bad
she
one.
knows there's deaths and stuff. But you know what? She still is kind of shocked. Like, she was shocked that Ned got his head chopped off. She was shocked that... spoiler alert, everybody. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you should definitely do it.
Yeah.
She was shocked when... Actually, you know what shocked her the most so far is when Jaime got his hand cut off. She was like, oh my God. I was like...
I know. Like, that's just straight up mauling a main character.
Dude, I still remember watching that episode because it's all nonchalant, and here's Jaime doing his thing, and all of a sudden it's like, whack! And you're like, oh my God!
Just trying to poke at his captors and stuff like that, and they had enough.
But yes, I finally convinced her to watch Game of Thrones, and we have been watching it like wildfire. Pun intended. Trying to get caught up. So we've got... season 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we've got to do some work, but we tend to be getting through about a season a week. So it's actually a pretty, this is my first time rewatching everything since I've watched it all just in order.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty bingeable show, honestly, in the grand scheme of things. It's actually kind of enjoyable just being able to jump from one episode to the next. It flows really, really well, and I definitely recommend people binge it. Plus, the thing I've noticed, there's a lot of details on second watch that I missed the first time because you don't have any context. Now, like, when you go back and watch it, like, dude, it's all out there. Season 1 just lays it all on the line.
Just catching all that foreshadowing.
Well, dude, like I said, people, this is very heavy spoilers. So if you haven't already turned away because you want to watch Game of Thrones at some point, and I've already spoiled some of the major things, I'm going to spoil more, but... so you've been warned. But when you watch season 1 again, you literally Littlefinger basically says that he started this whole thing. Varys basically says that he's betraying everyone for the Targaryens because it's for the best in the realm. Like, all these things that come as shocks later, they literally say in the first season. You just don't understand it.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing, like, when you rewatch it, like, how much... And then just like all like Tyrion's like little speeches that you forget about, Well,
and there's and not just like there's lots of things like Reek, what's his name?
I can only think of Reek.
Oh my, yeah. Now I can't think of anything but Reek.
Yeah.
God damn it. Well, anyway, Reek. There is 2 scenes.
Theon.
Thank you. There's literally 2 scenes where they cut from a sausage to Theon's face.
Mm-hmm.
Twice somebody's holding like a big sausage, and then they cut right to Theon, and I'm like, oh no. Dude, he talks about being a eunuch twice in the first 2 seasons. I'm just like,
really?
Wow. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, there's so much foreshadowing. There's a part with Littlefinger. So when how they use the cat's paw, the dagger, to try and kill Bran, and then it gets back to him. There's a part when Ned's got it on his desk, and literally Littlefinger's looking at it, and he kind of sits back, and the blade is literally pointed at his throat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, well, that's funny. In about 7 seasons, you're gonna get your fucking throat slit with that thing, so enjoy it.
Arya, fucking badass.
Yeah, there's just so much foreshadowing, like, about Arya being, it's just crazy. Like, knowing where we're at now, even the talk, like, Jon Snow dying, and them talking so much about him dying, and it's just like, everything is so foreshadowed. But it does make me scared a little bit for the end of this series, because there's some foreshadowing that hasn't come to pass yet, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to April 18th or whenever the hell it is. But
yeah, me too. I mean, and we're gonna obviously talk a ton about it on this show. We're gonna have our Game of Thrones breakdowns, because honestly, I could spend this entire hour tonight talking about what I've been watching with Game of Thrones. Oh, and there's my first kid. See if
there is another thing on HBO that you could possibly watch if you really wanted to.
Is it as funny as Game of Thrones? Because last thing I want to say about Game of Thrones is it's surprisingly funnier than I remember.
No, it's actually not funny at all.
Oh.
If you watch The Finding Neverland, HBO, the 2-part documentary.
God, wait a minute? Is it that 4-hour like Micheal Jackson Survivor documentary, or I don't know what you call survivors, accusers?
Yeah. It is
alleged victims.
I don't know, man. They both have some very descriptive things of what the Neverland Ranch was like, and when they talk about the grooming process that Micheal Jackson did to them, they both have very extremely similar stories, and a lot of like stuff that kind of backs it up.
Yeah,
it's just. If you're not good with listening to people describe how they were molested as a child, I would definitely not want.
I guess
they were 11 and 7 years old.
Yeah, and here's my thing, and like, we're not going to defend Micheal Jackson on this show. I mean,
no, I'm not going to defend Micheal Jackson.
We've all known Michael. We've all known Michael's a little bit. Even before, there's been so many allegations and so many weird things. At the very least, that dude had inappropriate relationships with kids. At worst, obviously, like you said, you have what happened, what they talk about in Finding Neverland. But my problem isn't...
No, the worst parts, Brian, are that they talk to the parents about what the parents were doing at the time, when the parents just like... left their 7-year-old child and they've only known Micheal Jackson for 4 days, and he took them to Neverland Ranch, and they're like, okay, yeah, you can hang out in Micheal Jackson's room for the night.
Yeah.
My kid's 7 years old, and you're letting me stay in this guest house.
And see, that's what's so fucked up. Like, we have young kids. Would you ever be like, oh, sure, child, you can go spend the night at any person's house that's not like a relative that you extremely
trust?
That's
just an adult. That's not a child.
It's so weird. I just, here's my thing. And so what I'm going to say is solely about the documentary itself, not about the circumstances or whatever. But, like, I've heard about this. I mean, it was making the rounds at Sundance. People were throwing up in the theaters and stuff. My thing is like, what I don't understand the point of this documentary, right? Like, the survivors can tell their stories without going into gruesome details for 4 hours about all the horrible things they endured, right?
I think it's just trying to bring out what it was like for the victims. I mean, like, my wife, after we watched the first part, I said, I can't watch the second part.
It almost sounds like they're purposely trying to trigger people.
I had to watch. Brooklyn. I watched 3 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I stayed up until 1 a.m. just so I could feel like at least somewhat normal again. I had to watch, something, and then she said, for the victims that are in this documentary, she feels like that we have to watch the whole thing, just to to understand their story, but
I don't know. To me, a documentary is supposed to...
You get disturbed by that kind of stuff, and you don't want to listen to how these people say Micheal Jackson, molested them and stuff like that, and listen to, like, all the parents and the grandparents that were there that just, let this stuff, happen because they, you could tell, like, they thought they were going to get something out of it. Like you can see, like in the back of the head, they let stuff happen.
So what's the point of the documentary? Are they trying to just? I
think it's more. It's not like they're trying to like. Obviously he's not going to go to jail or anything like that because he's dead.
He's already dead. I don't believe they can. I don't think they're suing or they can't get any money out of the state or anything.
They just. At least for one of the guys,
story.
Seems like he just wants to be able to tell his story.
I guess. Here's my thing. I guess
maybe as a cautionary tale, or if you're around people that are in positions of power.
But do you really need a 4-hour, basically, 4-hour documentary that's going to make people want to throw up while watching it to get your point across?
It's very well done. It's just very disturbing, and you question the parents, 99% of the time.
My thing is like I know the world's messed up. I know Micheal Jackson is a fucking weirdo. I don't feel like in my life I need to add that to it. I try and say it's the same reason why like I never watched. I mean, I know it's a different thing, but like Passion of the Christ, I remember people talking to me. I mean, obviously I'm not religious, but I talk to people like, Jesus gets tortured for like an hour. I have no desire to literally watch a man get his flesh ripped from his bones just because, right? Like, there's better things to do with your life. People suffered. They're horrible. Micheal Jackson's dead. He's not going to do this to anybody anymore. I understand like why there's so many R. Kelly things going on right now because that man is still walking around, right? I mean, hopefully not for long, but I just don't understand this documentary, right? I don't understand the need to have a 4-hour,
Well, it's definitely not for everybody, that's for sure.
Deep dive into somebody else's pain?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying that we watched it. It was emotionally disturbing on very many levels.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, it took me like an hour and a half just to recover. Like I said, I had to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine for an hour and a half just to like.
Like I said, if I have to recover from something I'm watching, I'm not going to watch it. So that's kind of my personal.
So, like I said, it's not for everybody, but if you want to, I guess give it a shot.
Well, I will be watching Game of Thrones.
Brian's going to be over there watching Game of Thrones, and I'm going to I'm going to try and like flush these mental images of the description that these people have said out of my brain. So
yeah,
So let's move on to something a little more fun.
Yeah, we need to cleanse our palate after this discussion. Way to bring the show down, Ryan.
Hey, sometimes you gotta talk about it.
No,
so
like all things in life, Ryan, I say you bury it really deep until it becomes a dangerously explosive level of internal combustion, and then just let it all out at once.
Yeah. So never leave your children with an adult. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Don't. Fuck. Yeah, no shit, right? Fuck. Especially if they have money.
Always keep your children with a drone that follows them everywhere and surveys them and sends you live feeds of
I mean, I guess that's why my question of like who's this documentary for? Like, are they trying to like let you know how shitty the parents are as people?
No.
Well, I think maybe I would have gone in that direction. Be like, hey, parents, maybe you shouldn't have dropped your child off at a grown ass man who built a fucking roller coaster and has a pet monkey named Bubbles.
It's basically trying to just pull the curtain aside on the stuff that you heard about as a kid.
Listen, even as a kid, I knew Micheal Jackson was a little strange.
Yeah.
I liked his music, but he was a little weird.
I remember there was this one kid that, he would do like all the Micheal Jackson dances and stuff like that. And like, he's weird and he like does weird stuff with kids, right? And like, no, there's nothing wrong with Michael Jackson. He's great.
No, yeah.
So,
It's listen. We have a hard time, and I think we're all guilty of it from time to time hopefully on lesser things. Like for instance, it's well documented that I've always been a fan of Tom Cruise's. I know the guy seems like in real life is a fucking psycho when it comes to these Scientology things, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of organized religion, even ones even the crazier ones like Scientology. But I mean, I still enjoy a Tom Cruise movie. Now, to a lesser extent, he's never murdered anybody. I mean, as far as we know, he doesn't have a child sex ring. So it's.
Brian, I don't know that the last level in Scientology has got to straight up murder somebody.
Well,
it could be.
And they should definitely shut that religion down. But I mean, I guess it's people ask me all the time, like, oh, well, he's a crazy person. How can you like his movies? Well, I like his movies. I mean, I definitely think there's a line you got to draw with with people like say like an R. Kelly or depending on how you feel about Michael Jackson. I mean, these people who've done heinous things, you have to be able to say, yeesh, I'm no longer going to listen to R. Kelly because he is just a giant piece of shit.
I already stopped listening to R. Kelly just because
I listened to him for a long time. I mean, realistically looking back, the signs were all there. I mean, he married Aaliyah when she was like 15. That's
kind
of creepy. But yeah, I mean, you're always going to have the people who defend their favorite artist to their dying breath. I mean, it's just, I don't know what it is with our country's fascination with celebrity that we are willing to defend people even when it's undefensible.
And murder shows and serial killers. I mean,
we do have a strange fascination with things like that. But I will say for the record, if Tom Cruise is found to be a sexual predator, I will no longer support his movies.
As long as they don't say naughty words. I mean, if that's one thing the South Park movie has taught us, is that America will tolerate any kind of extreme
or a nipple. I mean, people still talk about Janet Jackson's nipple.
Yeah. But as long as you don't show one nipple or say a naughty word. So
there you go. All right, let's cleanse our palate and let's get into the news. What do you think about that, Ryan? We got a lot of news to cover, and we have less time since you want to talk about this terrible documentary that no one should watch. So on that note, Ryan, here we go. You ready?
Hershey's.
Ooh, I want some Hershey's. We are coming, with the Hershey's Kiss of happiness, and the chocolate bar chop of education in geek fields of nerdiness.
And then we're gonna come and finish it off with the Twix leg sweep of chocolateness.
Ryan, I'm going to say it right now. I feel like this show has really sucked. I feel like last week we had a real high point. I feel like the show was really good. And this week I feel like our show is real bad.
I don't think so, Brian. I don't think we're at that point just yet.
I think it's bad. I'm going to say it right now.
I think we definitely plateaued for the very beginning of the episode. But now it's our time to hit that mountain. And we're going to sprint up it.
Nope, I'm mailing it in. Mailing it in.
Sprint.
Nope, I'm mailing it in. It's over for us. We're done. There's nothing else to talk about.
Well, we can get the sad stuff out of the way, and then there's some stuff to talk about.
Let's just end the show. Let's just end the show right now, and we'll call it the show that never was. Okay, fine. We can... Episode 169. Fuck off. So, you don't even pay for this.
Never-ending story to sing, and just call it good.
The sucky show. All right, so... All right, who do we want to start with? So as always, whenever we have deaths, unfortunately, in this world, there's lots of them. We like to get them out of the way first and give people their due. We had a lot this week, and we have one that's unfortunately looming. So I guess we'll start with the first one. Luke Perry, known for Beverly Hills 90210 and currently in Riverdale. I personally knew him from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is a great movie.
Yeah.
And
Fifth Element, he was in the very beginning of it.
That's right. And 8 Seconds, he played a cowboy, or not a cowboy, a bull rider.
Yes.
So I mean, those are kind of his claim to fame.
Aren't they all cowboys?
Ugh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought cowboys like died with the like Old West. But anyway, whatever. It's because you wear a hat doesn't mean you're a cowboy. Don't you have to like hang out with cows to be a cowboy? I mean, it's kind of in the name.
I think it's essentially that it's a lifestyle, and if you actually look at the origin of cowboys, it's actually African Americans you can thank that for, because they were the first people to essentially adopt that lifestyle. So
oh, look at that, more you know. All right, so yeah, Luke Perry, like I said, he passed away. He was 52. Apparently, he had a massive stroke. They took him to the hospital. They were never able to resuscitate him, and he had another one and just passed away. So 52 is not that old at all. As a guy who's just hit the wrong side of 40, I am...
a lot of great stories about him. Like, I didn't really know a lot about like his personal life or anything like that.
Yeah, he seemed to be kind of private.
But a lot of like really good, like apparently he was just a good human being, you know, and he was a good person. So
people were, I forget who it was, but they were telling stories about how like he just was like walking down the street and saw some kid getting bullied and like ran over and broke the fight up and like read people the riot. I mean, he just seemed, all the stories about him is he was a really good dude. You know, it's 52. It's just so freaking young, man. That's the scary thing, is when shit like this happens, you forget how unforgiving life really is. I mean, it's just one day you get up to get your coffee and then you're dead.
You can't stop yourself from having a stroke. I
mean, you're just
it's
dead.
not like he was in bad shape or something like that, you know?
No, it's not. You know, I don't know. I mean, we didn't know him personally, obviously, but you know, sometimes people just stroke out. Unfortunately, it's becoming more and more common. But yeah, it sucks, man. So I don't know, Luke Perry, thank you for the enjoyment you brought to our lives, and as we always say on the show, may the force be with you, and good journey, my friend. So next up, who actually happened the same day, was the Prodigy's frontman Keith Flint. Passed away at the age of 49 from a I believe it was a self-inflicted death, I believe. I'm not sure. I didn't read all the details on it, but
yeah, I wasn't trying to see, but the one thing that I read, it was before they found out it was suicide. So
yeah, I mean, 49, man, it's another, God, so young. I mean, both these Luke and Keith both. I mean, that's so young. And as we always say whenever we hear of a suicide, if you know anybody who's struggling, always reach out to them. And if you yourself are struggling with issues in your life, please reach out to people. People do care. You are not alone.
Call the suicide hotline.
You know, for many of us who don't necessarily believe in any given afterlife, you only get the one life, so live it well. And like I said, you know, reach out to somebody if you're struggling. There's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
It's like, you know, I've been watching Game of Thrones, and they said the first and last enemy will always be death, and it will always win, but you have to fight and scratch to the bitter end. You have to keep fighting until death claims you. So I don't know, you know, just like I said, if you're struggling with anything in life, always reach out to somebody. There's always somebody there willing to talk to you, and things are always better. So Keith, as we always say, may the force be with you, and good journeys, my friend. Your watch has ended.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ooh, maybe that's what we should do from now on. Your watch has ended. Let's do
Your
that.
watch has ended.
There we go. May the force be with you, and your watch has ended. All right. Next up, we had a little bit older person, but still pretty young. King Kong Bundy, WWF wrestler, pretty big with during the reign of Hulk Hogan years. He died at 61. Christopher Allen Palais.
Was he about the same size as Andre the Giant, or was he smaller?
No. He wasn't nearly as big as Andre. He's about the same size as Hulk Hogan. He just big, kind of a big beer belly, bald.
Yeah, I mean, I remember what he looked. I can't remember what his finishing move was, though. It was probably something like can't be anything is more harder than a leg drop.
It was a long time ago.
I know.
But hey, King Kong Bundy, you entertained the hell out of us. Thank you for all the memories, and as we like to say on this show, may the force be with you, and your watch has ended.
Uh,
All right, and one more.
That is 3 deaths too many.
Man. What is? They do come in threes. They always come in threes.
Yeah. As long as it's not Paul Rudd, then
yeah. Come on. I mean, I don't want to lose anybody, but there's a few people we could lose. Most of them are in the White House, but we won't talk about that. The fourth, I guess, this person has not died yet, but things are not looking good. This week, host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek, put together a small video basically saying that he wanted people to hear from him directly. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which is pretty fatal. It has a very high mortality rate. My dad
just fought it. My dad I think he had stage 3. So
I work with somebody. I worked with somebody who overcame it, so it is possible. The typical diagnosis with this is like 3 to 6 months. So, he's vowed to fight it. In a little bit of humor, he says he has to fight it because he still has a 3-year contract, and they expect him to show up to work, which I thought was pretty funny. But
yes.
Thoughts go out to Alex. You have, I'm pretty sure Trebek has been a huge influence on, well, not influence, but a part of a lot of our lives for a long, long time.
Yeah. And thanks to Saturday Night Live, that gave us some of the best Jeopardy categories we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
I'll take your mother's sweet ass for $500, Trebek. If you are feeling a little down about the Alex Trebek news, just go to YouTube and Google Saturday Night Live Jeopardy, and you'll put you in a better mood. But we will not say good journeys, and we will say may the force be with you, Alex. And fight well, fight long, fight strong.
Yeah, he got it.
Well, the good news is he's rich, so he has the means to be able to fight cancer. So hey, that's the upside for him.
He's rich and he's white. So.
He's white. What does that mean? They give him he gets the celebrity cancer, the white celebrity cancer cure.
Yep, pretty much.
Hey, side note, this has nothing to do with whiteness, but I did just see that a second person was actually cured of AIDS. Yeah,
that was because of bone marrow transplants.
I think it was like some kind of a stem cell. Was it bone marrow? Is that where they got it? But hey, you know what? That's progress, man. Finally.
The first one was through bone marrow transplants, and then the second one was the exact same thing. So now they're saying that it's been replicated, God. So let's just maybe give it a shot.
There's a lot of people suffering. Obviously it's not as deadly as it was back when we were younger and people were dropping, seemed like flies because nobody knew how to treat it.
At least not becoming HIV, it's still staying. They were able to kind of keep it as AIDS and not making it, full blown HIV. So
yeah, but hey, anytime we can cure a deadly disease, that is awesome. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I know it's not nerd news, but hey, that's real people news. It's real news. We're like real journalists. Maybe we'll get a Pulitzer for this.
Yeah, awesome. I will put us in the nomination pool.
Yes. All right. So moving on. What else we got here? You know what? Should we dive into the big news of the night, or should we beat around the bush and then end with the big news?
Are we good at beating around the bush, Brian?
I'm always good at beating around. I'm great at beating around the bush, Ryan.
I never had any complaints around the bush. So
around your bush? What are we talking about? How many bushes are you hiding in, dude? What the shit?
A lot of bushes.
Oh my god. All right, you know what? Let's just knock it out first. Okay. Star Wars news. Woo! Star Wars, Disneyland, Disney, Lucasfilms, all those people have announced Star Wars Galaxy Edge, also known as Star Wars Land, also known as the new happiest place on Earth, has an opening date. May 31st, Galaxy Far, Far Away is officially opening at Disneyland. It's like July something in Orlando, but we don't care about them. We care about Disneyland, because that's closest to me.
Now, is there going to be a pour roasted open flame? That's what I want to know.
I hope so. There are... Okay, so... There are many restaurants that you're going to be able to, Star Wars themed restaurants you're going to be able to dine at. I do not know if they have open roasted pork. They do have a lot of fun dishes. We could literally, I don't know, if you want me to read them, I'll be more than happy to read them, but there's a ton of information. There's a buttload of websites that got entire walkthroughs and have a list of everything you can do with the new Star Wars land. We could spend 2 hours talking about each one, so unless you want me to, we'll just kind of give you the cliff notes.
There's going to be blue milk.
Yes, they're going to have a blue milk station. Apparently you can get, it's going to be almost like a milkshake type thing, but there are like different colors. They're going to have the green milk from The Last Jedi, the blue milk. They're going to have different kinds of milk. They're all going to have unique flavors, and like I said, they're going to be a lot like kind of a smoothie / milkshake almost, so you're not just going to be drinking a glass of milk with blue dye in it. But hey, back to the grand opening. So there's a few things. Before we get into what's going to be at the park, let's talk a little bit about what you're getting yourself into if you decide to go this year. So the park is officially opening in Disneyland on May 31st. And I think, like I said, Orlando, I want to say it's like July 7th, so it's right around the 4th of July weekend. Here's the deal. The park is not going to be fully open. They are working on, there's a major ride that they are working on in each park called Rise of the Resistance. And the rumor is that it takes 28 minutes to get through this ride. Now, I was reading a description of this ride. It almost sounds like they're taking a page out of Universal Studios, kind of what they did with Hogwarts. So if you go into the Hogwarts ride, I know we talked about this last night, the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey ride.
Yeah.
The wait in line is basically part of the ride. You know, there's actors that record things and they talk to you and you get to see through the castle. It sounds very much like this is going to be kind of what this is. And it ends with you getting into like a ship and you fly around the galaxy and you have to do a cockpit escape. So it is going to be very much an interactive ride that walking through it and waiting in line is part of the experience.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
I am too. Well,
you made the Hogwarts one sound pretty cool. I mean,
it is. I mean, the Hogwarts one makes you feel like you're going through Hogwarts, like you're actually going on a journey through Hogwarts, and it definitely feels like that's kind of the experience they want to recreate in Star Wars. But it even sounds like it's on a bigger scale than Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride. Mm-hmm. So I don't care. I'm really excited for it. It's not quite open yet. It's going to supposedly open later this year, like September, October. So it sounds like the scope and scale of it, they fell behind a little bit with the experience, so it just got pushed back. But everything else will be open. They will have the Millennium Falcon ride that we've heard about. Basically, you and 4 other people are going to get put into a Millennium Falcon cockpit. You are going to get to fly the Falcon. I feel like there will be fistfights that break out over who gets to fly.
Dude, it's going to be absolute insane. There are going to be so many adults just like stomping on kids just to get past them on things.
Yeah, it's going to be, my guess is they'll probably, I don't know, man. I wonder if they're going to have like a line where if you get in a specific line, they sort you into, and then that's just how it works. You go in there and certain people fly.
Like they can tell, like, they have like a special like thing to tell which guy's going to be the dick, and that guy.
Yeah, or they'll probably just, you know what, they may just do groups. Like, all right, groups, here we go, figure it out. I don't know. I'm sure they've probably thought about this, but yeah, you know, that's going to be a great ride. And like you said, they have tons of restaurants. You are going to be able to get things. I don't know if you're going to get pork roasted on open fire, but they definitely sound like, so all the details about this, and like I said, you can read all these details online. We have them on our Facebook page, and lots of websites got to do. Unfortunately, Ryan didn't put in for it, so we didn't get to do our cool walkthrough. But very detailed experiences of their walkthroughs. They have all these Star Wars themed restaurants. They have the cantina where you can get cocktails, and not only, and it's not going to be one or two like, oh, here's your $35 Tauntaun drink, right? No, they have a full like bar menu. They have like 15 different drinks. They have an IPA. They have all these Star Wars drinks. They have a drink called the Fuzzy Tauntaun.
Ooh.
Yeah, or the fuzzy Tauntaun. I mean, it's just like the drink list is great. They have non-alcoholic drinks. They have alcoholic drinks. It's a full menu of food. Actually, sounds pretty good as far as
prices. I can't remember if they had prices on if they're showing.
Well, no, of course they didn't put prices. They should just put you're at Disneyland, expect to pay a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a $60 meal for one person.
Okay, to be fair, last time I was at Disneyland, I mean, me and the family were able to eat anywhere from $30 to $50 depending on where we went for a full meal. So that's actually not that bad for a theme park. I mean, you're gonna spend that going to Applebee's. But
you're just remember though, your kids at that time were only getting kids meals.
They're still only going to get kids meals. I'm going next year, but so that's what's going on. A couple of the new additions, they're going to have tons of merchandise stores, lots of shops. But the other thing that they're doing, like I said, it definitely feels like these guys saw the success of Harry Potter Land at Universal, and they are kind of copying it, to be honest with you. So tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. You can go to a special lightsaber store, and you can get teamed up with a specialist who helps pick a lightsaber based on your personality. You fit the lightsaber with the person.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then do you get to pick the color, Brian?
You get to pick the color. This is very much like the wand ceremony going on over at Universal, but this is really cool. You do get to build your own lightsaber from scratch. They're about $100 if you want to build your own lightsaber. If it's another $50 if you want the blade itself, or if you just want the hilt. But this is actually really cool. So you pick your kyber crystal, which
and everybody knows Brian is going to pay whatever amount of money that they say. You're just gonna hand that credit card.
I'm gonna walk in. These are gonna be hanging out, and I'm gonna have like some Star Wars shirt on, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna bust out my Darth Vader credit card," and they're like, "We got one. Bring him in. Bring him into the special room."
Yeah.
Ooh, how much is this stuff?
Yeah. Everybody knows you're just gonna be like, "I don't even care how much it costs. I'm doing this shit, and everybody's gonna watch me do it."
Okay, but here, listen. This is really cool. So. Every lightsaber you get has a kyber crystal. Now, anybody not familiar with the kyber crystal is a crystal inside the lightsaber that allows the lightsaber. It's what gives it its color. Yeah. It's what allows it to focus its beam and stuff. But these kyber crystals have microchips inside of them, and you can take the kyber crystal out and put it into holocrons, and it tells histories of Jedis and Siths, and it tells stories, and it gives your lightsaber its own special. And you can put these into other things, and it powers them.
It's gonna be a money pit.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna save every dollar I have. It's just I'm gonna rename my savings account the Galaxy's Edge Fund. The other thing you can do, which is really cool if you're not into lightsabers but you're into droids, they are going to have a droid assembly area where you can assemble your own personal droid. It's an assembly line. You pick out the parts you want. You can assemble it. They even have oil baths so you can dip it, clean it, box it. You can get ones that you can put in the components to make it remote controlled. Apparently, it will interact with another thing from Harry Potter Land. Apparently, this droid will interact with things from the Galaxy's Edge. So if you want to wheel it around different parts of the park, it will interact with different things.
You know how many kids are going to lose their droid on the first? They're just remote controlling it and then look up and not paying attention. Somebody just picks it up and runs off with it.
You know how many people are going to get their droids stomped on?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it sounds incredible. If you are a fan of Star Wars, I mean, they definitely seem like they wanted to immerse you as much into Star Wars lore and make you feel like a part of it as possible. Once again, very much reminiscent to me of the experience I had at Universal Studios at Harry Potter Land. The other thing that's really cool that they have is they've announced this whole theme park is set in between Star Wars Episode 8 and Episode 9. So the whole idea of this is you are at a Black Spire trading outpost. That's what this whole Galaxy's Edge is. And that the Resistance and the First Order are both here looking for something. And so everything in this park, it plays into that. My guess is it's going to tie into the movie, to Episode 9. So by the time I get there next year, the whole thing will have been done, and I'll get a chance to really experience the movie and everything there. And all the merchandise from the movie. But yeah, so that's when it's set. And so there's a lot of Rey and Poe and Finn and Kylo Ren and stuff. And I'm sure there'll be classic characters and things around there too as well. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot more details. Obviously, I could talk about this for another 20 minutes. But go check it out. If you guys want any more information, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or direct message me or something, and we can geek out about it. But it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be super fun, and Disney's going to make $1 trillion off it. So.
One more quick just PSA. If any of you are planning to go to this anytime soon, what they are doing right now to help minimize crowds and make sure everyone has a chance to enjoy the experience.
It's going to be a maxed out crowd.
Yeah, well, listen to what they're doing. You can't even get into Galaxy's Edge unless you have a reservation. You get your ticket and you have to go reserve a time when you can enter. That's
insane. It makes sense.
Well, yeah, because they don't want lines literally leaving Galaxy's Edge out of the park trying to get into the Millennium Falcon.
Like everybody's like, fuck the rest of this park. I'm just going to line at Galaxy's Edge.
I actually think that's kind of smart. So you get your ticket and then you go up to whatever reservation place and you scan your ticket and they say, okay, your time, you can come back at 3:00. All right, then you can enjoy the rest of the park and not have to worry. You just come back when your time says so.
Yeah, but. Yeah, just don't be the guy that gets it 1 hour before closing.
Yeah. I'm going to park. You may not be, so I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going there next year, so I will give a full... If we're still doing the show next year, I'll give a full review of it. All right, what else we got?
11 more people, Brian.
Oh, yeah. Side note, everybody. This is very important. If you remember nothing from this show, remember this. Me and Ryan have said many times, if we do not get 100 subscribers by episode 200... that will be the last episode.
Yeah, on YouTube.
So we need 11 more subscribers, so tell everybody. All right, so let me see here. So we don't go all night long. I'm going to blow through some of this news real quick, and if there's something you'd like to talk about.
Yeah, you know which one I want to talk about.
I do. Do you just want to go ahead and get to that, or do you want me to blow through a few stories, and we'll do that in a minute?
Let's blow some quick stuff, and then we'll do the longer ones.
All right, here we go. You want to blow some longer ones?
Yes.
All right. So Disney is confirmed. So Disney had their, I don't know, what do you call it, where they talk to their boards, their shareholders meetings or some shit.
Shareholders meetings.
It's like they tell everything that's coming so, a bunch of old rich people can get money boners. So Bob Iger, one of the things he talked about, so apparently they got to see, they said the Fox merger is just about done, so it's supposed to be, there's rumors it could be completed as soon as the end of this month. Which, if it happens, apparently there's a rumor we may get an X-Men type teaser at the end of Avengers. They're ready to tack on if it can get done in time, so we'll see. But Bob Iger did say the Disney Plus streaming service that's going to come out later this year will include the entire Disney film library. Entirely. Even movies that are in the vault that are not available for purchase will be on the streaming service.
So don't buy anything.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, God damn it, I've bought so many Disney movies. I shouldn't have bought Wreck-It Ralph the other day, the second one. Just waited another couple months. But, hey, that's cool, man. I mean, if Disney's going to give you their entire library, anything that says Disney on it, you're going to get it. That's value, man. There's a lot of Disney movies.
You're gonna find out that Disney's library extends far beyond animated movies. Yes. A lot of people forget that.
Yes, there's a lot. I'm excited to watch Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I haven't watched that with the kids yet.
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
It's a great movie. There's like penguins and Nazis in it. It's such a crazy movie. And witches. All right. So apparently we reported, I think a couple weeks ago or last week or whatever. I don't even know. Maybe we didn't report it. Will Smith apparently was out of Suicide Squad. A lot of people just assumed that this was because Deadshot was not coming back. That has actually been debunked. Deadshot is coming back because Idris Elba has been cast as Deadshot in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie.
I think it's just because he's so fond of blue body makeup that he only wants to do movies where he can be a blue genie.
That might be true. Who knows? But, hey, whatever. I like Idris Elba, so, hey, sure, whatever. But there's a lot of stuff rumors starting to trickle out. There might have been a possible leak of the lineup for Suicide Squad, but because it was kind of a big rumor, we'll talk about it when we hear more concrete evidence. But we did get a new trailer for James Gunn's produced Brightburn movie that's coming out Memorial Day weekend, aka the Superman horror story. I did not watch the trailer because a lot of people complained that it gave away a lot of the movie.
It seemed like it gave away a lot of stuff that you didn't see in the first one. The first one was just enough to get you curious and want to see the movie. This one seems like they're trying to like show some more like stuff, but I don't want to say anything to ruin it. But
all I know is I am very excited for the movie.
Excited to watch Clark Kent murder people.
Yes, small Clark Kent, but it looks cool. So check out that trailer. Arrow, we found out, is going to end after season 8, after a shortened season 8. So this is season 7. So next year it will lead into the Infinite Crisis, and that will be the end of Arrow. So we're going to get 10 episode season next year. Stephen Amell says that he will not be done with the character after that. So it's led a lot of people to speculate: is he talking guest appearances? Is he going to move to another show? Are they going to end up kind of making like a Justice League type show where they just put everybody into, one show and move forward?
Tomorrow?
What?
You mean like Legend of Tomorrow?
Yeah, like Legends, but actually do it with the big name characters. The Bertinelli, Greg Bertinelli, who runs, I think it's Bertinelli, or Berlanti, Greg Berlanti. They said that they just need to make room for it's ran its course, and they just need to make room for new. They gotta kind of have to do their own phase 2 to keep the CW thing going as long as they can. So, I mean, it makes sense. I've been watching Arrow. I like it, but the show definitely seems like it's run its course, so it's a good time for it to end.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else we got? Brian K. Vaughan, who's a great comic book writer, is going to write a Gundam movie for Legendary Pictures, live action.
More robots.
I say, yeah, all the robots. We got a Tick season 2 trailer, which looks awesome. If you have not seen the Tick, highly recommend it on Amazon.
God, I still gotta watch the first season.
Oh, it's so great. It takes a little while to get into because it's such a dry humor type show, but it's good.
And they don't do that very much anymore.
Apparently Maleficent 2 is still happening. I didn't even know it was going to happen, and not only is it still happening, it's coming out this October. All right, so apparently they've been shooting that. I didn't even know. But hey, if you're a big Maleficent fan, congratulations, you're getting another movie. What else we got here? Speaking of movies that are getting sequels, Edge of Tomorrow has officially been, I guess, greenlit. Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt are both expected to return, and it's in pre-production right now. So there's been a lot of rumors that this was going to happen, but apparently it seems like everybody's back on board, and they are moving forward. So if you have not seen Edge of Tomorrow, also known as Live, Die, Repeat, it is a fantastic sci-fi movie.
It is one of my favorite sci-fi flicks.
Yeah, me too. And do not let your hatred of Tom Cruise, if you do have hatred of Tom Cruise, steer you from this one.
The story is very original and so well done. So.
You know what's kind of funny? I as a guy who likes Tom Cruise as an actor, I think this movie might have done better had they not cast Tom Cruise, because I think so many people expected just another typical Tom Cruise movie that a lot of people didn't see this till later. But it is really and it's not a typical Tom Cruise movie. Like, I don't even think of Tom Cruise when I think of this movie.
Yeah, it's just really well done, really, really well acted, and the story it's an amazing story.
To me, this is more of an Emily Blunt movie than a Tom Cruise movie. Emily Blunt is so good in this movie.
She was the main person in the movie.
Dude, she was so channeling her inner Sarah Connor in that movie. Just badass.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Live, Die, Repeat. Check it out. I just bought it for $5 on iTunes. I'm real excited about that. 4K. There you go.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead showrunner says that there's a second spinoff in development.
People are still watching that?
I have 5 episodes recorded on my DVR. I have not watched any of this new season yet. And I don't know if I will. I'm kind of enjoying not watching The Walking Dead, I'll be honest.
Join us, Brian.
I think it might happen. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. Another trailer we got a lot of trailers this week. We got a second Hellboy trailer. It's a Red Band trailer, and it's a much better trailer. I know we talked about the first Hellboy trailer. It just wasn't very good.
This one was...
Yeah, this one, if this one doesn't get you excited, this one does a much better job of showing you the difference between this Hellboy and the other ones you saw. I will say the trailer does give away a lot of the movie, which kind of sucks, but it's a pretty good trailer.
It's fun.
I definitely want to see it. All right, what else we got? Scrolling. I had something. Apparently Disney's trying to get Warner Brothers to sell them their 10% stake of Hulu, which would give Disney like 80% controlling interest of Hulu, so they'll actually have 2 streaming networks.
So it'll essentially be the Marvel Network. I'm
Well,
guessing.
here's what I've heard about Hulu. So I know Christine, who hi Christine. She had kind of mentioned like she wanted to know if this means Marvel, if they're going to show Marvel stuff on Hulu, and I said it looks that way. I think Christine, if I was mistaken, I kind of thought after I said it, like, I don't know if I'm being 100% accurate. I don't know if you mean like Marvel movies. My take is that all the Marvel movies are going to be on the Disney Plus streaming network. But I do think what Hulu's going to do is I think they're going to show a ton of their Fox stuff on Hulu, and I think that we're going to get a lot of our Marvel TV shows that are kind of R-rated. So, like, you're going to get if they decide to bring back Daredevil or your shows like that, that's what's going to be on Hulu. I don't think they're going to be airing, like, Avengers on Hulu.
I think they are going to keep it around for like 2 or 3 more years and then it's going to shutter it.
I don't think so because, like I said, with Fox, because Disney Plus doesn't seem like they're going to have Fox stuff on that network. Disney Plus seems like it's going to be Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. It seems like that's going to be their big thing. So I'm really thinking that they're going to use Hulu for their more adult stuff. So if they want to make a Ghost Rider TV show or another Punisher or bring back Daredevil or bring those other ones that aren't necessarily quite part of the MCU but cool characters, I think those are going to go on Hulu. I think you're going to get your Cloak and Daggers on Hulu. You're going to get your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Those kind of shows I think are going to end up on Hulu. Because I think they want their Disney Plus to be a very family-friendly type. But they still need a place to stream Deadpool, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that makes sense.
So anyway, that's my take on the matter. So Marvel I think is going to be on both, but I think you're going to get a big heavier influence of the shows on Hulu, and you're going to get, like your Legion. They're going to get Legion. Do you want to just not ever stream Legion again? No, you want to put it somewhere, but you're not going to put it on Disney Plus. You're not giving it to Netflix. So put it on. Put it on Hulu.
Oh, I could see that happening that way.
So that's kind of what I think. Speaking of X-Men, we got a new trailer for the last X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix. I don't know, whatever. I mean, in the trailer, they literally kill Mystique, which, all right.
Yeah. Move along.
I don't care enough to be upset, but I don't know. I mean, the movie looks fine, honestly, whatever. It's kind of hard to be even remotely excited for a property that you know is going back to Marvel, so I don't know, whatever. I might watch it. If I hear decent things about it, I might check it out. We'll see.
I'm sure Sansa Stark does a great job.
Yeah, I like her, but I'll be watching Game of Thrones. I'll see her there. And then let's see. Finally, did I have anything else? I know we had that story that we're going to talk about next.
Trailer.
Hang on. What? Oh, yeah. So last 2 stories, I think that's what we're going to talk about here. Let me double check, make sure it's all we got, because every time I'm like, last story, and then I have 2 more stories. All right, so we have your story we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, we got a new Game of Thrones trailer. All right, let's spend a couple minutes. Let's talk about this trailer, man. I am not even going to lie. This trailer, I watched it. I wasn't going to watch it, but I was like, screw it, I'm going to watch it, because I want to go into the season knowing nothing. And I thought they did a good job of not spoiling anything.
Yeah.
But, dear God, every single shot of this trailer looks like a movie. It looks like a movie.
It's going to be a 6-hour movie. Or wait, how many episodes? 6?
6. They're saying the episodes.
Episodes. So
I've heard the shortest episode's 80 minutes.
Yeah. So it's going to be glorious. I mean, it's like you said, every single shot.
We got a lot of dragons flying.
Sees like dragons for the first time. It's just like.
When you see Arya running through Winterfell, she's clearly like she's finally in like a war. Like, it's a straight up war. They are not messing around. Like, it is war on top of war.
Cersei's starting to look a little concerned.
Everybody's looking. You got to see, the Golden Company. So,
yeah.
That whole, that they're coming. I mean, you definitely get the sensation. You definitely get the feeling from the trailer. There are 2 major conflicts that are coming in this. Obviously, the war against the dead, and then Cersei is going to have to be dealt with. So, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens, man.
I'm still hoping that the Night King takes his dragon, skips over Winterfell, and just goes straight to King's Landing, and just starts.
Wouldn't that be great? He just does like a detour, blows up King's Landing, and then comes up to Winterfell. So wouldn't that be a shocker? They make you think that the Battle of Winterfell is the first battle, but we find out that they've already sacked King's Landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's cool. You got to see Jamie. A lot of the pairings that we loved, we get to see again. Jamie and Brianna Tarth are up on the wall fighting with each other again. That's awesome. I mean, it's gonna be just epic. Be prepared. We are gonna lose a lot of characters, I think, but it's
don't see. So I told Brian
them.
Text message earlier. I said I'm just assuming that the person that's going to be on the Iron Throne at the end is the Night King.
Yeah.
And so anything other than that, just, like popcorn, candy for me.
Well,
because
like
I'm assuming he's going to win.
Well, like something when I've been on the rewatch, Ramsay Bolton said something to Tyrion that I told you about that really has me worried. I totally forgot about this line, but it just has me super worried for everybody. He looks at Theon and he says, "If you think this story has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention." I was like,
yes.
Uh-oh. I'm not.
Oh.
So whatever. It's going to be glorious. It can't be any worse than the ending of Lost. So let's be real. Are you going to have, so I'm already starting to plan, we're going to have a Game of Thrones party. So I'm going to have a season premiere and then a season finale. So the season finale, apparently we're going to have an all-day thing. I think I'm going to get like a death board. Who's going to live, who's going to die, you can put your money on.
And do
like squares?
Yes, that's a good idea. Oh, so what do? You have to have one
You probably
side.
have to do like, you probably just take odds is probably what you'd have to do. Like,
you have to do houses on one side, on the top, and then names on the...
You'd probably have to do... No, you probably...
taken out. So, like, if all the Starks die, then you got to go to... No.
What you could do is you could put who you think's going to die, who you think's going to live, and who do you think's going to, like, live last, and whoever gets the most right wins the pot or something like that.
Yeah, you're going to have to do it that way, because you can't do...
So is the Night King just double zeros? Is that what that is? Like, that's the green square?
Double zeros.
You just want to throw $5 on it just to be on safe. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited. This is definitely in my opinion, the end of the greatest show we may ever see. It was so good. Yeah. So
it's definitely for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
this is probably the best show.
Well, we are going to get a whole lot of wannabes here in the next few years, including a Game of Thrones prequel series that are going to try and dethrone Game of Thrones as the greatest show we've ever seen. And we're going to take a second and let you nerd out, and we're going to talk about the one that Amazon's got coming, I think, late next year or sometime next year.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. So it's been long rumored that it was going to be a show about Aragorn as a youngling. But they were keeping, like, Amazon was keeping this thing under just lock and key, secrets upon secrets, which is hilarious considering the history of the Middle Earth has been around for a long time. So, what could they be doing that needed to be so secret? But
you can read all the books that are over 100 years old.
Yes. Well, apparently Amazon released the first details today, and it is not what we have all been thinking. Most of us were led to believe that it was going to be a show about Aragorn because that is what Amazon said, but it is not. It is about the second, what is it called? The second
age.
The second age, which is, 3,500 years before Lord of the Rings?
So, no, the second age ended with the death of Sauron.
So the beginning battle of Lord of the Rings is the end of the second age?
Yes.
Okay.
So when Sauron dies at the end of the second age, and then the third age takes place right after that. But the whole span of the second age is 3,000 years, and it's basically when Sauron comes into power, and there's like a whole continent that was gifted, that was raised up magically from the ocean.
Uh-huh.
And that's where man was, and then man goes from that continent to Middle-earth.
So that's what apparently has everybody in a real excitement mode, is they showed a map of Middle-earth, and they've included that continent, which is no longer there now, I guess, in the third age. But so that's, anyway, the rumor, supposedly they're not going to show, they're going to talk a lot about the second age, but they are not going to show the end, that battle that we get at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, which I think is a mistake. I say recreate it and give us the whole thing.
Just do the whole battle.
Oh, side note real quick. So apparently, speaking of Lord of the Rings, and we're talking Game of Thrones, so what's the middle movie? The Two Towers? What's the name of that giant fight scene, that tower they have the... Big fight at the end.
Deep.
The Deep? The Keep?
Helm's Deep.
Helm's Deep, thank you. So apparently they said the Battle of Winterfell is like twice as big as the Battle of Helm's Deep in the movie. And considering that is a 40-minute fight scene,
yeah,
I cannot wait for the Battle of Winterfell.
A 40-minute fight scene?
Dude, that's what Helm's Deep is in the Two Towers.
And I've watched like all like the making of it and stuff like that. It took them like 4 weeks.
Well, they have been shooting Game of Thrones for 2 years. So the rumor is that we are going to get an 80-plus minute battle at the Battle of Winterfell, and that apparently is the 3rd episode. Get ready. Get ready. Apparently, most of what we saw in the trailer is from the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. But all right. Anyway, so okay. So what are you excited for this? Because I really thought we were going to get an Aragon story, and I was kind of excited for an Aragon story.
I didn't need Aragon and all that stuff. I was fine with that. I'm good with like learning about. I want to see young Sauron. I want to see Sauron. Yeah. He's all. I don't know if he's always been corrupted or if he was corrupted by the god that he serves. But I do know that he does turn that whole continent basically to his own ends, to the point where a god turns the earth from flat to round and sinks the whole fucking continent. So
all right, well that sounds cool. Well, and I will say this, even though I was kind of excited to see kind of a young Aragon because he's a great character, I do think prequels work better when you go so far back that you don't. I know we've talked about a Star Wars. Like, I'd like to see Knights of the Old Republic. Give us 1,000 years before Star Wars, because then you can give us characters and you don't know what's going to happen to them. Like, there's so much, even though it's a prequel, it's not really the same story. Just like, Game of Thrones, we're going to get, the Long Night.
3,000 years before. Yeah. The stuff's had.
In Game of Thrones, we're going to get 6,000 years before the show that we know. So literally, you don't. I mean, you know a couple things, like the wall's going to get built, but other than that, you don't know what's going to happen.
You can see Winterfell get utterly destroyed, and then you're going to watch the prequel where they build it for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the cool thing. And with this Lord of the Rings, so far in advance, we're not going to know any of these characters. There might be a couple people that have some little loose ties to things but...
You're going to know who Sauron is.
Yeah, you'll know who Sauron is. Some of the elves, they might bring back some of the same elves because they're still alive, aren't they?
Now, that's the thing. The elves typically, they essentially live forever. So you could see, any of the elves from the movies.
I forget his name, but wasn't Agent Smith, wasn't he wasn't he alive during the Second Age?
Elrond.
Wasn't Elrond like a big player in the Second Age?
Yeah. He was.
So we'll probably get Elrond, and we'll probably get Sauron or Sauron. God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As you can tell, I like the movies, but I'm pretty much, my knowledge is just the movies.
Yeah. I know what basic stuff that I read from the wiki, because I tried reading J.R. Tolkien's other work on like the Silmarillion.
I've tried too. They're rough, man.
And it's dense.
Yeah, it's really dense.
It's literally reading something that you have to like chew and like bite and like chew it for like 6 years.
Sometimes reading his stories is like reading an encyclopedia.
But you have to remember, they were written.
Yeah, I know, a long time ago.
Years ago, and the wording is so much different back then, and everything. It's just so hard. But
all right, well, I'm excited for it. Clearly Amazon's excited. They've sunk $1 billion into this already.
It'll be sweet.
Got that Bezos cash. So, all right, well, that is all the news we got. Unless you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's move on from the Faithful 50. We got a couple questions.
First up, we have a question, or Jeff left a question on the Facebook page, where I always leave a question for every single Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when we record. So you'll see the post go up, and you can leave a question there, and we will answer it. And so Jeff, it's a multiple choice, Brian.
All right.
Yeah. So, which do you pick? A, your car is a transformer. B, a real lightsaber.
Ooh.
C, your own Terminator. Or D, you can fly. those are some seriously good ones because Terminator would be sweet as long as it's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator 2. Like, come with me if you want to live.
But there's always a chance that like the file becomes corrupted and then it tries to murder you in your sleep.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, he will eventually just go into a big pot of liquid metal and give you a thumbs up.
No, that's also true. So I want that.
Your car is a transformer. You get your own lightsaber. You're an own Terminator, or you can fly as long as you.
Okay, well let's work through these. So if you have your own Terminator, that's cool. You got your own like bodyguard who can do anything for you, but you always run the risk of some 2-bit hacker hacking your Terminator, turning it against you, or your Terminator becoming self-aware and murdering everybody.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big downside. So I'm going to say no to the Terminator. If you go with the Transformer, here's my problem with Transformers. Why do you want a car that does things? Like, every time I watch these movies, the people who have them, their lives are never better. Yeah. They always get their houses blown up.
While you're inside them, in the car. And then you just a big mess apart.
Do you want to be inside a sentient being?
I don't know. Do you?
I mean, and not just that, like, you could just be hanging out with your bro Autobot and Decepticons, like 15 of them show up and just start blowing shit up, right? I mean,
yeah.
That seems like a bad, I don't want to be...
If you get your own lightsaber, though, everybody's going to want that goddamn thing.
Well, and not just that, if you have the lightsaber without the Force...
You're not going to be able to trust anybody.
You can't trust yourself. You are going to cut off a limb. I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Someone's gonna do something on the road, and you're gonna hold it out while you're driving and just slash someone's car. But I don't know. I'm gonna go.
I would say fly, but I mean, there's so much that goes along with flying too. I mean, how fast can you fly? Are you also impervious to being cold because you're not gonna be able to breathe and you're not gonna have, Yeah,
I'm gonna have my own Terminator, and then I'm just gonna protect my kids from adults and send them to sleep at their house.
I'm gonna say I'll take the ability to fly because you know what? Traffic sucks.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, just don't go really high up.
But you can't go really fast. You gotta be able. You'd have to fly real slow and hope nobody takes a shot at you because they don't know what you are.
So that the Air Force doesn't send some,
somebody. Listen, I mean, it's America. Somebody will shoot you down, guaranteed. But whatever. I'll take a flying. I want to be able to fly. All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Brian Curtis snuck in. Good thing I refreshed it. He wants to know now that Stephen. We kind of talked about this. Where do you want to see Stephen Amell go next? Now that he's going to be giving up Green Arrow after next year, what comic role would you like to see him in? I don't really see him doing more comic books.
I've heard that he would make a good Batman. I would like. I mean, yeah, he'd probably make a pretty good Batman, and he's good at growling under a mask. So I mean, that's all you really got to do to be Batman. I
think a lot of these guys actually doing comics for so long, I think they just want a break. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see him. I don't know. I'd like to see him get into some. Maybe he can do like a sci-fi show. He's a really good actor. I'd like to see him just branch out a little bit. I want to see him in more stuff. I don't care if he does a superhero role, but I'd like to get it. Honestly, I'd love to see him get in like one of these Altered Carbon shows. Something like that. Just some kind of cool.
Him on The Expanse.
Yeah, bring him on The Expanse. Get him.
Corporate guy that's trying to take over a planet.
He's a great genre actor, so I mean, if he wants to do more superhero, more power to him. I think he's great. I think he's been great as the Arrow. In fact, I think he's kind of out-acted that show. He's a really good actor. But I don't know. Maybe Marvel should bring him over and put him in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with he needs to go on The Expanse.
There you go. I like that. I'm gonna say he needs to be in season 3 of Altered Carbon.
Ooh, that's a good idea. God, when's the next season coming for that?
I don't know. Soon. Or maybe even cast him in the Game of Thrones prequel. Ooh, or how about in the Lord of the Rings show? Make him a knight.
Yeah,
he'd be a good knight.
He could be a knight in Game of Thrones too.
With some armor, yeah. Don't make him Bran the Builder. Make him don't make him a Stark. He'd have to be a Lannister, right? Because he's blonde.
Stan the Builder. He didn't quite build anything as good, but he still did stuff.
His brother Bob did all the work. All right.
Thank you, Brian Curtis.
Thank you, Brian.
Last up, but not least, our number one Faithful 50.
Number one.
She wants to know.
Well, does she have a name or is she just number one?
Christine. Sorry, Christine. She wants to know if you could listen to 2 albums for the foreseeable future. Say you're trapped on a desert island, or it's apocalypse, so you only have access to the 2. What would it be?
Well, we're definitely throwing out R. Kelly's greatest hits and probably Micheal Jackson's number ones. Not listening to those anymore.
Yeah, those are out.
Those are out. Can I say the new Weezer Teal album? Love that album.
Is it good?
I love it, but I think the covers are great. I mean, they're just covers.
I'm going to say Foo Fighters. The Skin and Bones live album was really good. That was probably my favorite one of all of the Foo Fighters.
I'm going to cheat and say Queen's greatest hits because you get 3 albums and like 100 songs.
So, I was thinking Queen too. Maybe I'll go with the Top Gun soundtrack.
Oh, God, yeah. I might have to do
The Danger Zone.
Yeah, Top Gun soundtrack might be the greatest soundtrack
I'm on a desert island.
Well,
I'm gonna need playing with the boys while I'm on my beach.
Playing. You're gonna need motivation music to build your escape raft.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say. I mean, Queen would be pretty good. But I really like the Top Gun soundtrack. I also would really like Jay-Z and Linkin Park's Collision Course because it's a great mix of Linkin Park and Jay-Z, and that is pretty badass.
Also, the first Linkin Park wasn't that bad either.
Maybe some Tupac greatest hits. I'm going with the greatest hits just because you can cheat and get a lot of good songs on one album.
So Christine said her picks. Is going to be The Hangover Music Volume 5, Black Label Society.
Oh.
The second one, she's possibly going with Pantera, Cowboy Boys from Hell.
Oh, Christine likes it dark.
Or the Chili Peppers, Californication.
That's a great album.
That's a very...
I want to hear her workout mix. I mean, I feel like she's got some
She's probably like lifting like 300 pounds.
She's got like Rammstein on there.
Yeah.
Dude.
She's like deadlifting like 2,000 pounds. I bet she's the person that like slams the stuff down when she's done.
It's possible.
Just like throws the weight. Just...
Maybe that's why she can't listen to us anymore, because she's got to get real serious and she's going to be cracking up while she's deadlifting 500 pounds. Yeah, those are some good albums, man, but those are definitely a little heavier than I listen to nowadays. Metallica Black, that's a great album you can listen to.
Now I want to listen to Pantera, though.
I know, right? You talking to me? You talking to me?
Dude, we saw
What'd you say?
And they had a little puppy. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was Pantera Mexico posted on Facebook, and it was this little puppy, and they start playing one of the Pantera songs, and the puppy just going.
That's awesome.
And then they stopped at the drop, and then the puppy just kind of like looks over, and then when they start back up again, the puppy just starts headbanging.
That's awesome.
Oh, so funny.
Cool. Well, that is yeah. I mean, I'm more of a pop than heavy metal guy at this point in my life, so I think my official answer is I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with the Weezer. Officially, I'm going with the Weezer Teal album and Top Gun soundtrack.
Yes. I'm going with the Foo Fighters, Skin and Bones Greatest Hit album or live album.
Oh, it's a good album.
And what was the other one I said?
Top Gun soundtrack.
Yeah, Top Gun.
I think Top Gun is unanimous. And I don't know why I like the new Weezer album so much, but I've literally listened to it probably 100 times since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's got Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's so great.
I gotta listen to it.
It's pretty good. All right. Well, thank you for your question. I can't talk. Thank you for your question. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Thank you for your questions.
Thinking about it too
I think
much.
I'm having a stroke. All right. Questions. And look forward to doing it again next week. Like Ryan said, he puts it up every Thursday. So play along. If you don't get fun answers that you just got.
Yeah.
All right. And real quick, before we get out of here, me and Ryan each had a recommendation of something you should or shouldn't waste your time doing this week. Ryan, would you like to go first?
Yes, I would like to tell everybody that if you were looking on Amazon Prime and you keep seeing that advertisement for The Widow with Kate Beckinsale, I would
Wait. I have seen those advertisements and it looks great. I love Kate Beckinsale. So should I watch this show, Ryan?
I think you should not, Brian.
Oh.
It is a complete pile of stinking garbage.
Oh, man.
My wife and I watched like the 8 episodes or something, and every single episode I shouted at least 3 times that this lady's an idiot. And what is she doing? She's in the Congo, and she very much knows that nobody speaks English, but she's going around asking all these villagers who have never left their village and that all keeps, speak Swahili. She's like, do you know who this person is? And they're just like at her in Swahili, and she walks to the next person. Have you seen this person? Like,
there's nothing. There's nothing worse than movies that have people just doing dumb shit. We're just like, what are you doing? Why are you so stupid?
Or just like, go walk in the middle of the Congo. In Congo jungle, you've never been there before. You don't know what you're doing.
What?
You don't have any supplies.
All you need is your Google Maps. It'll take you anywhere you want to go, Ryan.
Yeah.
And
so
Google Translate.
There's every episode I was shouting that this lady's an idiot, and my wife started doing it toward the end. The end where you get to the twist, which I called in episode 3. It's just the person's the giant douchebag.
You're going about this all wrong. What you got to do is every time she does something dumb, you got to make it a drinking game. You take a drink.
But they try so hard to make a redemption for the douchebag, but the redemption makes him an even bigger douchebag.
No.
So,
all right, well,
it's a complete waste of time. It's garbage. I don't know why we watched all of them. I think it's just because we started it and we were just kind of hoping like maybe it would get better, but no.
You've already invested so much time. You're kind of just in it now. You're like, we're going to see it through. Yeah, I've been there.
So
I have been there.
On The Widow on Amazon Prime. It is not worth it.
I have been there, Ryan. I've watched 10 seasons of Walking Dead.
Yeah. So don't watch The Widow. Brian, what about you? What do you?
I have something better you should watch, and it's not that long. So it's about a 2-hour movie. It's currently on Cinemax right now. You can watch it. It's called Upgrade. It's a movie made by a bunch of Australian director and actors and stuff like that. It was made on a budget of like $5 or $6 million. It was kind of an indie movie, a little bit of an indie movie. Made the rounds. It is fantastic. It is quality. I don't want to compare it to District 9, but it's kind of that same like where you have a low budget movie, sci-fi movie that is like blows away your expectations. You're like, holy crap. So the premise of this movie is a man gets paralyzed, his wife gets murdered, and he gets paralyzed at the same time. An assault happens, she gets killed, he gets paralyzed, and a rich billionaire offers to put a microchip into his spine that will allow him to walk again, right? Hence the name of the title, the name of the movie, Upgrade. So yes, they put a chip that also is sentient and can talk to him. What could go wrong? So basically, he turns into the Terminator and goes around and just murders everybody who killed his wife, had anything to do with it. Just brutally murders them. But as the movie goes on, I won't give away anything, but as the movie goes on, you kind of dive deeper into this mystery, and you're like, everything may not be what it seems. And it's really funny because it came out around the same time as Venom, and it's basically Venom, but the better version of Venom. So think of he talks. He's got this buddy relationship with this microchip, and he talks to him like he's just talking to it. Nobody else can hear it, and everyone's like, "Who are you talking to?"
So the chip gives him like super strength and like super like.
So it doesn't give him super strength, but what it does is it can take over his body, so it can like pump up his adrenal glands, so he can be much faster, stronger. Like, think like he can analyze everyone's fighting style and immediately make every move perfectly, right?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so it's just, I mean, in essence, yeah, he's got superpowers, and he's just, it's a good movie, man. The fight scenes are amazing. The acting is actually pretty good, and honestly, I had a really hard time. The main actor looks exactly like Tom Hardy. I kept thinking this was the Venom movie, but a much better version of it.
For 1/100th of the price.
Yeah, for like $5 million, and it's like I said, it doesn't look cheap. The movie doesn't feel cheap. There's no real big name actors in it or actresses, so obviously they save some money there, but they all do a good job. Honestly, it's a really good movie. I suggest everybody check it out. You can probably find it, probably be on Netflix soon, but it's streaming right now for free on Cinemax if you got Cinemax. But Upgrade, check it out. It is worth a watch. It's really enjoyable 2 hours. There's some of the violence is pretty brutal, but me and my wife watched it together, and she doesn't really like that kind of stuff, and she made it through. There's one part where a guy gets a knife in his mouth and he slams it and it goes all the way. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But it's definitely worth watching. I really enjoyed it. So Upgrade, check it out now. So all right, well, thank you everybody for joining us. I think that's all we got. Before we get out of here, Ryan, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us? Yeah,
you can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report, Twitter at the Geek Dad Report, and Brian at Brian West 53, and I am Big Bruiser. You can find us on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, and as always on podhell.com with our friends, the Utah Outcasts. And you can also find us on iTunes. So make sure that you go and like and subscribe and give us all the ratings because we are in desperate need of attention.
Yeah, and if you think this episode is as shitty as I do, you should leave a comment below and say, yep, this is a really bad episode. And I promise that I'll make Ryan be better next time.
Yes. Wait, no, that's not how it goes.
Anyway, that's our show, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, everyone, stay awesome.
And stay nerdy.